MWIII Beta is looking good.
Jeff plays Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer
Modern
beta.
Warfare 3 Beta first impressions.
Is Modern Warfare 3 just MW2 DLC?
Modern Warfare 3 Beta has arrived, and I'm
MW3 Beta
honest
first
thoughts about the
impressions good with that.
MW3
Modern
Beta so
Warfare
bad
3
it's
Beta
useful.
first
I played the
impressions.
MW3 Beta for some 30 hours of Warfare shocking Modern Warfare and stuff.
Modern Warfare 3 is great, but it doesn't feel great.
The beta was here and gone faster than my ex-wife when I told her I wanted to be a YouTuber. And before we get too far from it, I thought the world deserved to know yet another random dude's opinion on it. Sledgehammer really pulled out all the stops this year. And by pulling out all the stops, I mean doing the things that the community has been asking for over a decade, like faster movement, higher time to kill, and putting red dots back on the mini-map. Now that I just got used to not rubbernecking the top left of my screen 3 times a second. Honestly, I got used to the new movement and time to kill pretty quickly. And once I figured out that my controller's aim assist was just not working for the first few games and did the old #1 trick that IT doesn't want you to know about, I was having a pretty good time overall. I mean, what can I say? Call of Duty is a fun game, and this Call of Duty is the most Call of Duty to have ever Call of Duty. Gosh, I hope they wash their hands. And now, from the makers of Blindfire, we have the next worthless feature, Tactical Stance. For real though, like if you're having an issue with hitting the D-pad to toggle into tactical stance, I would definitely recommend switching this to be melee, because like that just feels a lot simpler to me. It doesn't like cancel, you can still mount on things. It's just when you're not near something, it'll switch to your toggle. Let's talk about the maps. Of course, they're all remakes of MW2 classics, and everyone's fear going in was that like other old guard remastered maps, there would be a bunch of doors and unnecessary safe spaces everywhere. But thankfully, not only were the safe spaces already there to begin with, but the few doors that they actually did add don't interfere that much. Kinda begs the question though of why they even felt the need to add them to begin with if they seemingly went out of their way to make them as non-intrusive as possible. Like, I don't know, if you get seasick every time you're on a cruise, I don't think the solution is, oh, well, I'll just go in one of every 3 cruises. Like, no, just stop going on cruises. They suck, and there's always a line for the bathroom. I've never been on a cruise, but maybe that's a thing. Who knows?
But Mr. Replay, how would you rank the maps?
Wow, this webcam looks shitty. We got a Call of Duty tier list live from my kitchen. You can't even see the kitchen. Dang it. All right, so High Rise is gonna go into S tier, because it is still high rise. Like, it plays very, very well. And I'm especially glad that they kept the crane and the rooftop spots. I don't know, it helps set the map apart. Now, Rust, I think, is gonna go in S as well, because it is a much better teeny tiny map than Shipment. Estate is also going in S for surprisingly good map in this game, unlike back in MW2. Skid Row, I think, has to go in S too, because it is, S is for Skid Row. And Favela, of course, you know, it's going in F. Stands for fuck's sake, this map is awful. Hello class, my name is Mr. Asswalt. Welcome to class. Today's class is all about the new class system. Class, this year we forego normal perks for gear. Now if you didn't know about this, I'm not surprised, because most creators haven't even mentioned it and are more concerned with complaining that you can't slide immediately into sprinting or some other impossible shit. You start out by selecting a vest, which gives you a specific buff, but also changes how many other perks you can get and from which slots. I think it works decently well so far, and it kind of feels like a natural evolution to the division system that we got back in World War II. The conflict, not the game. But that's only half the class. What about weapons, you ask? Visually, they look as great as ever, but audio-wise, it kind of feels like a downgrade, to be honest. It's like gunshots have been dampened, and combining that with the extra bullet or two it takes to kill now, and it feels like you're playing paintball with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. The gunsmith is about the same as the last game, which is to be expected. And the only attachments available in the beta are completely new ones that I'm sure will fit in just nicely with the 3,000 other ones we have coming from MW2. I've seen a lot of people complaining that the slate reflector is back as well, saying that it's lazy because they just had it in Vanguard, even though we've had like the same red dots in like every Call of Duty game since 2008. I do like, though, that you can favorite attachments and even filter them if you wanted. Snipers were kind of unsatisfying for me, too. Despite a lot of other people telling me that they felt really good to them, it might just be a personal taste thing. There's also a handful of new and returning pieces of equipment this year, with some standouts being the ACS module, which is a field upgrade that captures objectives if you drop it on a flag or a hard point, or the Guardian Killstreak, which I hope to God is less annoying in the actual game, where it's not one of the only kill streaks you can put on. And they finally added my boy Sam Turret back to the game. I'm just a little upset that it's on the same tier as the UAV, because that means I'm probably never going to use it. Sorry, Sam. Breacher drones are cool, but I hope they don't replace drill charges. The med box is a cool concept, but I have no idea how it works. Everyone on my timeline was complaining about battle rage, but honestly, I didn't really run into too many problems with it after the first major patch of weekend 1. And I'm not the only one reading this as emo grenades, right? I'm assuming there's way more to the sandbox coming in the full release, though, because I've noticed a severe lack of throwing knives, claymores, and Dennis. Cuttroat is the one new addition this year as far as modes go, and it's a 3v3v3 match with no respawns. And it kind of feels like they just realized halfway through the year that they forgot to make gunfight, so they hobbled this thing together quick and made it 3 teams so it could be played on normal maps and they don't have to make any 2v2 ones. Which is disappointing because gunfight was awesome, and in the few games that I have played of Cuttroat so far, it just doesn't have the same magic. Then there's Ground War, a returning mode that's basically just copy-pasted, as expected. The maps feel a lot more tight though, and aside from some bad crane campers, I really didn't feel like it was a sniper's world and we're just living in it like I did with MW22's Ground War. And I'm a huge fan of the big team modes like this, to be honest. So while I am happy that Ground War and Invasion is returning, I am a little miffed that they made no iterations on the gameplay at all, and that the maps are still just cutouts from that year's Warzone locale. So now don't get me wrong, I love the idea of them pulling smaller maps from bigger ones, right? I think that it's a fantastic use of limited resources, and I think that it helps people who don't play every single mode still feel included in every season. But what I don't like is that it feels like the entire last year we were being drip-fed these Al-Mazrah POIs as Ground War maps, despite them seemingly all being done with the Warzone map that dropped with the first season. And so now that we're switching to MW3, which is virtually the same experience, but now with only 2 POIs, and I'm sure that we will be drip-fed even more, I feel like I'm on a treadmill. And like there has to be a better system here, man. Like there has to be. Anyway, this is the part where the script ends and I'm supposed to just wrap up what I said and put a nice button on it. So here we go. Oh shit, hold on. I wanted to change my shirt for this bit. Ta-da! So I ordered one of these samples because I want to sell a shirt that has my name on it because I don't know, I'm a fucking narcissist, but I accidentally ordered a small, so I look real big. Nobody judge me. So after playing the beta enough to unlock what might be the most shootable face in video game history, I can confidently say that the game plays very well, and it is a very good foundation. The problem is, it's exactly that. It's a good foundation. It might be that I'm getting tired of the COD cycle, but it just feels like after the last year of shit just being drip-fed to us, things that we had in other COD games at launch or even, you know, post launch. Game modes that were fan favorites and were great and really should be staples of the series and are staples of the series, but they don't come at launch. They come 5 months down the road. I'm getting tired of it, man. I don't know. Because like when you look at what this game actually has, like on disc, it's 16 remade maps, a Warzone map that the evidence kind of points to it being developed for MW22 and taking place in Las Almas and then getting a fresh coat of paint at some point here and being transported to Urzikstan. A new zombies mode that takes place on that Urzikstan map, and Ground War that all take place in Urzikstan. So as far as content goes, there's nothing original about it. The game feels like someone at Sledgehammer woke up one day and realized, oh shit, I was enrolled in a making Call of Duty class, and the final project is due in 4 months. Oh shit! So they grabbed these 16 remastered maps that I'm sure they made and were holding on to back when the MW2 campaign got remastered fucking 6 years ago. And then they went on Twitter and found the most retweeted pieces of feedback and just incorporated that into the new game and just slammed them together with a reskin of Las Almas, and bam, you have a game. And like, as I'm explaining it, that sounds bad. But like, is it though? Because it's all of the things that people have asked for mixed with a bunch of maps that everybody loves. And from playing the beta, again, I had a very good time with it. I don't know anyone who disliked the game, to be perfectly honest, after playing it in the beta. So I'm not sure that it even is a bad thing. It just, it has a weird... this game is weird, man. It feels weird. And look, I'm not on the $70 DLC train, all right? But it does beg the question of, like, if they could do all of this, why did they not do this last year? Why did they not make a proper reimagining of MW2 2009 for the game called Modern Warfare 2 2022? And why couldn't this have actually been a DLC, an expansion, something like Phantom Liberty, right? Where they rebalance the game, drop in a ton of new content. That, and this is the key here, exists alongside the pre-existing content. So in addition to these 16 maps, we could still also be playing on the 20 plus 6v6 maps, the dozen ground war and gunfight maps that we already have in the game. And most importantly, modes like gunfight and party modes and fucking havoc, they would already be there, instead of what's going to inevitably happen, which is season fucking 3 rolls around and they package up gunfight like, oh, it's this brand new mode we're bringing in, gunfight, it's finally back. It's like, motherfucker, it was here a year ago, it was here 2 years ago. Why do we keep doing this? This has nothing to do with the beta at this point. I needed someone to hear what I'm saying, and I hope that someone out there agrees, because the game, make no mistake, the game is great, but it doesn't feel great. That's it, man. That's the title of this video. Title's down here. Fuck. Shit. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got. I'm gonna go order a shirt that fits me. Bye.